Now, as I started working on the firewall and still scratched a lot of the things like a stock factory, looking at one like what the Road Dodge Chargers has. Okay, that's what I was going for on this build, is actually stock and street version reference stuff, not Daytona, not NASCAR. Now here is the part that goes on the lower part of the firewall in the front. Now I don't know what to drill these holes at due to the alignments underneath and actually on the firewall. Like I said, this build is actually a fun build that I've been working on for a little bit of a while now. Now, you'll see right here I put them in at. And since the last picture you saw, I actually primed the dash area. I also primed the firewall area on here so I can see what I've been working at. Sometimes when I make a piece, sometimes I gotta go back and make another piece. Because sometimes I do mess up on the first piece. It's all trial and error for building. For you people that are watching it that don't understand what I mean, us builders go through a lot of trial and error sometimes. It's common. Quite common. Really, in life. And when you're building projects. That's the fun thing about it. But here you can see I'm actually adding the strip now onto the firewall now. I'm not building the firewall out where it should be at. Really, it was actually fun doing this piece. Now here, I'm actually back to the Star Wars piece again. Actually embracing it now and actually building it in and shaping it. Same time, I'm working on the frame rail that I'm be later on here working on as well. I gotta keep everything in alignment and keep managing to make where the frame rail is gonna be going at. Cause I know in NASCAR, everything's all tube before steel stock like that runs on the chassis. And the street version of this doesn't have nothing like stock car does. Or so I say NASCAR. Now here, I can keep in mind that the lead pencil line is actually for the trim of it where they would make up on a road charger, where it's spot right across the doghouse area. Now here I'm actually adding the transmission tunnel piece, cross member. I'm also adding the gear shift lever for inside for the console part where you bolt the console gears onto down to the floor pan. Now, as you can see where some of the gap issues that I was having, that I had at where I had to apply a lot of building material. Close it in, nail it in, then go back, mock it up, and completely keep it until I get what you see. Now, when you're doing a raw plastic, you know sometimes you gotta get to a point where you got primer. That's what I did right here. When I was trying to keep a paint on so I can make more progress there, but I got to a point where I actually had to apply paint as a primer so I could see where I was going to that and see what all I had to work with and how smooth and what areas I had to work in. Now, if you look at the frame, you can see that I actually added yellow pieces because the one kept snapping off. And anybody knows when one snaps on, the other one's going to do the same thing very, very soon after the other one does. And with those ones being thin material, as some of you all that knows these kits know what I mean by that, that the plastic is very thin material when you start working around it. So I started actually applying reinforcement pieces. Now if you look right here, you can see where I got to chop the firewall out at the frame rail pieces. And right here, I actually cut up the lever mount that goes up to the floor pan. This is going to be actually worked on here in a few seconds as well. Now, up to your left, you'll see in the corner, right next to the gear lever, there's an indent. Believe it or not, the road chargers have that indent in the floor pan as well. Now, if you look at the two black spots, that's where I actually went to the plastic at for the crossmember piece. And the frame that was mounted up underneath the rail chargers. Now, in the front piece, you see where I mean, because I got easy work that area now, bend upwards. Because that lower piece got to be a little more notched up again, and redone again. Now here you can get an idea of the crossover, as you can see right there, up how I'm starting to build a cross. I'm using jump signs to actually build up the layers of it. Now that yellow piece indicates I'm going across the other side, meaning I gotta build that piece in. Now, the road chargers, that indent right there in the transmission is actually a legit place. And the road chargers, they have the same thing. But as you can see right here, though, the missing pieces that was never there in the first place is the front piece. Because it's tripped back and forth, all that yellow was never part of the kit. Anything you see in white or black is actually the kit pieces. And believe me, I've been doing a lot of work on this project here. Believe me, a lot of work. Cutting, gluing, recutting, gluing, primering. Now here is where I'm actually adding the frame rail into the body chassis piece of the transmission crossover. Now I removed the frame rail, but removing it, I made a big hole in the floor pan. Now here you can see I'm actually gluing that piece shut now with a piece of the sign. Alright, those signs do look good. They might not be evergreen, but they do work good. Different thicknesses, they look just like evergreen. So if you got any signs laying around, like scrap plastic ones, in your builder, they do work. All you have to do is sand them, sometimes sand not right. Now here I'm actually building up the frame now. But keep in mind, I gotta keep certain places in mind, so when I go to do the next pieces to it, I can line them up easier and put them in place easier. Now here I'm actually working, I did what was on the top piece of it. And I plywood and one strip, but I made sure the inch was actually, if I'm right, it was, I'm gonna say half inch to almost an inch wide strip. Because I've been bending outwards at certain areas. So I applied the glue in one spot, walked it up so far, put the sign piece down into it, glued it, and I put baking soda on, then I worked for all the way up to the end piece. Then I easily ran a little bit of glue back along the seams, and I had more baking soda, that way everything's nice and rounded like. Now, we can see the primer is actually being sanded off here now. But all the tools on the side will actually be dealt with as well if you're coming up here. I didn't want to break this apart just yet, because the frame rails is actually pre-spaced apart, which I like the gaps. And technically, the street version is actually the same width, so I'm actually using the NASCAR K member piece as a helper to help me keep these things lined up and spaced apart yet. Now this bumper was not the original kit bumper that came in the kit. The original kit bumper was actually still in the baggie from the kit box yet. This is a spare bumper that I actually had in the parts box of mine. I actually was looking at it one afternoon, and I just decided, why not just use it instead of using the nice chrome one, and work with this one and actually put it into the project. Because no matter look at it, I would have to do the same thing to the chrome one anyways. And so I decided to use this one instead. Here is a piece of a junk scrap sign that I decided to use as a piece of the firewall. Now, you'll see why. Now, most of all these trip rails, all this chrome stuff you see here, I'm not dealing with this because some of it is actually inaccurate. Now here you can see the firewall actually going in place with the top piece not being applied. But last time you saw it was only the firewall. Now here I'm actually building and assembling the top piece of the firewall, like on the road chargers that has it.